welcome to my studio again. I'm so excited to share my junk journal with you. I know a lot of you have been wanting to see it. What is a junk journal? I've heard many different takes about what a junk journal is online, but my take is that it's a personal journal with repurposed, older, or unexpected materials. My own personal journal, I think it falls into the category of a junk journal. It falls into the category of an art journal. I've actually painted some small pieces for my journal. I find the process of putting together a visually compelling page to be so organically inspiring that I started writing again after a 6-year hiatus, and I'm so thrilled to share the pages with you a little bit more in depth. I love to add 3-dimensional components to my pages, so you'll be able to see a little bit better what that looks like. I also add a lot of glitter to my pages. A lot of my work is inspired actually by my painting style. Let me know if any of the pages resonate with you and you'd like to see more of any particular page. I find that I have a favorite one, but sometimes what resonates with people is not what resonates with me. The fun thing about junk journaling, it's so free, there's no real rules, and I hope that you enjoy my journal. Let's start with some of the tools I use. I first started with Mod Podge, which is good for adhering materials, but I find the regular gel glass from Golden is the best, especially for heavy duty things like canvas paper. I was having a hard time with the Mod Podge. It was not adhering correctly for some items I was using. I also like to use miscellaneous things like rhinestones and fun confetti that I find at the craft store. Ephemera from various ephemera packs, you can find these at craft stores. Here's a little bit more of the ephemera I use. I also have collected vintage postcards, stickers, and other miscellaneous items. I really love these bow stickers. I think they add such a cute 3-dimensional detail. And I wanted to show you a little bit more of what I'm working with. I like to store them in little boxes. Some picture books from a thrift store. I love older illustrations and looking through them. It brings me back to childhood. Paging through them helps me connect with my inner child, and I actually have a page about this. I really love this little frog. He's so cute, isn't he? Scissors and a paintbrush, a micron pen, which helps me with the writing aspects of my collages, and of course paint. And you can pretty much use any type of paper that you want. I use paper from an old sketchbook of mine. Now let's get to the good stuff. Here's my junk journal, and I'll tag the creator I purchased this from below. I love her work. It's so inspiring, and she is the reason why I started a junk journal. This first page is my mission with art to transform my pain into hope, and it's an older sketch. The second page is my 2 pups, Cora and Mocha. I knew I wanted to put them in my book because they bring me so much love and joy, and I had these sketches of them that I wanted to do something with, so I ripped them right out of my sketchbook and made a page in their honor. This next one, I painted this little spider painting specifically for this page. I also painted on paper where I wrote the poem that I had in mind, and that spiral is from a visual. This next page contains one of my favorite paintings ever by Klimt, and a print of mine on the bottom. I feel so honored to have my art close to his. It's another poem about love. I have a couple of them in this journal. I hope you like that page. I really loved the holographic detail as well. And I was so inspired by spring in this page. I just felt the warmer weather for a day, touched some grass, and I knew I needed to make a poem about how warmth and light and the hope of spring makes you feel so new and excited. This is my first ever journal entry, and I think you can tell. I'm not thinking about the composition as much. I was just having fun with this one, but I was so excited to start. This next page is inspired by somebody that I actually follow on Instagram who is a ballerina, and I love watching her dance, so I was thinking of her when I created that page. And the second page is my second ever journal entry. I was having fun with the butterfly wings, and that sticker is from an artist friend of mine. Next, this page is about Studio Ghibli. I love Studio Ghibli so much. I'm so I think it's Ghibli. I am so in love with every movie that I've seen. I always feel so excited to create whenever I watch a movie from that studio. So I wanted to honor that through a page. And this next one it contains prints of mine and a poem that I wrote. This following page also contains a print of mine hidden in there, the trees. And it's basically about just wanting to feel beyond where you are, wanting to feel bigger, uncontained, and free. And this page on the right here, it contains a print of mine and a print from an artist friend of mine who I'll tag. And I was just exploring my feelings on that day. This next page is about a promise I made to myself when I was a kid. It contains an old sketch of mine and a print of mine on the bottom there. And I just wanted to honor myself as a kid and the promise that I made that I wouldn't let the world harden me. This little page here contains a bunch of stickers. I went to a junk journaling event and I put a couple of the stickers I found there on this page. I love looking back and remembering that. And this other little page was just me having some fun, throwing together a little thing from an ephemera pack that I recently bought. Same with this small page. I find the tiny pages are fun to explore in and not think too much about composition. Ripped up a couple pages from my sketchbook for this page on the left and was having so much fun thinking about nature and the brain and neural pathways, just so many different things. And this poem on the right here is about love, and it was actually inspired by a Nirvana song. If you could tell me which Nirvana song it's inspired by, I'll be very impressed. Let me know in the comments. And on the left here, I was just thinking about how overwhelmed I felt, but we can always take the most difficult moments and transmute them into something more beautiful. So thinking that always gives me hope. And it's a similar feeling with the poem on the right here. Another spring-inspired poem. If you can't tell, I love the turn of the seasons and how they inspire writing and art. And that little image on the bottom left is a black hole from a space book. I love paging through older books that I find at the thrift store. I find it such an inspiring process. I've learned so many random facts by doing that. This page contains a print of mine, and also that eye is from an optical illusion book. Ooh, this little key is a little wonky. Apologies for that. On the right, I also have a print of mine that has been deconstructed to fit the composition of this page, an old sketch from a sketchbook, and just some thoughts that I had when I was painting that painting that is in the print on the page. This is probably my favorite spread. I love that they're so thematically similar on both pages. And this poem, that is a print of mine, and this poem on the right was inspired by flipping through a space book and reading about the birth of a star. And I found that so fascinating and to be a really great metaphor for shining bright after difficult moments in our lives. And this painting is called The Cosmic Guardian, and I felt that it was so perfect for this particular page. So this is a print from a painting called Cosmic Guardian. This next page also contains a print of mine. That butterfly is from a painting I made. And I painted that sunbeam to write the poem on. And I love making paintings to write over for my collages. I find that it adds such a personal touch to each collage. This next one, I was visiting my childhood home. I saw my mother, and it was like looking in a mirror. And I also felt like I was looking at my grandmother. And I was so inspired by that feeling. And I created this page to honor the connection that we all have to each other. I was so inspired to make this painting by that sketch on the bottom left is an angel that I painted. It was a thumbnail sketch that I eventually painted, and I wanted to add it in this entry because I felt it fit so well. That is a print called The Cosmic Scorpion from a painting I made. And that is my home, Minnesota. I just found that funny, like a funny little detail. And this is a little print of mine as well. I have been so inspired by angels recently, and I've been thinking about angels and their symbolism and what they mean and all of that. So I made this spread with angels in mind and how I had been feeling in the moment, just processing some feelings about feeling like I'm kind of locked in a circle of time, if that makes sense. And I made this spread around Valentine's Day. I loved adding rhinestones to these pages. I got the cutest ephemera pack that was so pink and adorable, and I just felt like it was perfect for a Valentine's Day spread. And I was thinking about how my platonic relationships and friendships have helped me grow so much as a person. So I wanted to honor that with these pages. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I hope you're ready to go make your own junk journal. Thank you so much for watching. And if you liked any of the prints that you saw, feel free to check out my website, paxpaints.com. I have a bunch of prints on there and original paintings as well.